Yes, today I want to talk about Carcass and the Carcass guitar tone. For me, they are one of the most influential bands in extreme metal. They have been around forever and have been influential for several decades. I remember when their early gore death metal albums like Symphonies of Sickness came out. That was some of the most disturbing shit back then, believe me. But I also remember when Hard Work came out, and this album I think has defined modern metal guitar tone for a lot of people. Really, really important. Today we want to check out their latest album, which not only happens to sound amazing, I think it's a perfect blend between sounding organic yet heavy. And we want to do this with no other than my friend and colleague, Mr. David Castillo, who mixed the album. We're going to dive deep into their guitar tone, check out the gear they used, amps and cabs and mics, but we also want to check out how the tracks were processed to sit right in the mix. As usual, this is part of a bigger course called the Carcass Mixing Ritual, where David walks you through the entire production, every track, every plugin, everything. You can even download the original multitracks, mix the song yourself, upload your mix, get a mix review from me, and win some cool prizes. More information about the course in the link below and later in this video. Now it's time to pass it on to David and to dive into the Carcass guitar tone. Enjoy.
All rhythm guitars is his Les Paul, and then the leads is he has a melody maker because he started playing the melody maker because he got like pain and like some numbness in his shoulder
From the Les Paul weight.
Because the Les Paul too heavy. It's a Les Paul custom, but all the rhythms it's Les Paul custom. All 4 tracks. Leads is different stuff. I think all of them have custom pickup.
How many rhythm guitars do we have? Is it left, right, or quad track?
It's quad track. They always done quad tracks, at least from Hard Work. I'm even maybe everything they ever done is quad tracked, and I ended up using 5150 with a Mesa oversized cab and an EP booster, like exotic. The other one is a V-Play, is Voodoo amps. It's like a super lead called V-Play, it's like a Plexi, Marshall Plexi. Going into a CMI, it was like a Marshall, it was a distribution company, I think, CMI. For Marshall, but it's with greenbacks, like old.
Okay.
Both 55 hertz. I think it's 255 hertz and 275 hertz speakers in it. And it was also with the EP booster, by less gain, like different settings for the different amps with the EP booster.
Can you show the 2 pairs of guitars directly?
Yeah. Both together.
Nice. I really like how that blends. Very different sounding, right?
Very different sounding, and usually that's what blends good together. 5150 would be alone. The other one is not working alone at all, but it adds to me the grit and the dirtiness.
I also like how the low end doesn't sound super modern. It's like still a little fuzzy or something, like not super tight,
like
and
moving. Yeah. And to me, a lot of the energy and overall in a mix, it's the dynamics in the low mids. If you control it too much, I think the whole mix is too flat and not dynamic enough.
Boring.
Yeah.
But I can hear like now listening to the guitars that it sounds very natural and that it's not over edited and sometimes even looser than some people might think, but like in a good way. And this just breathes and lives both tone wise and performance wise. Really cool.
Today, a lot of times I think what's missing is it's too controlled, and then you lose the energy and power. Maybe you can make it sound-wise super impressive for 30 seconds, and then I get bored. That's a part of this. It's no click track. They play together, in a way where it's not perfected, and that makes it a lot of energy and being organic at the same time.
I fully agree. And what's like the level balance between the two?
Let's see how. I would say still the 5150 is
Louder,
main,
but
it's
both
not
important. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like subtle in there, but it's 5150 is still main.
Yeah.
And this, when I did the reamp, I did a lot of different settings, different pedals, amps and stuff. And I remember this was one of those amps where it's like, it's too dirty. But like when you listen to it alone, it's not that nice or cool. But together it added what I was missing in the 5150.
And what about the moments when there's like two voices?
There's additional guitars as well, but but like in the intro it's always a mix of the two amps when it's playing one side, so it's like it's not only the 5150 or
okay, it's always both. Okay,
yeah.
So if there's two voices, then they both go to each amp.
Yeah, and it's always fully panned except the intro.
Yeah.
Because it's placed, I think it's a harmonics guitar that comes a little bit to the right, and this is more centered to the left.
Yeah.
And when it all hits here, it
goes fully wide.
Fully wide, yeah. And then the processing on each channel is the same. I'll do it, see if I can get the best out of each guitar track.
Those are the 5150s?
Yeah, let's do it with one guitar in the center. Yeah, boosting a little bit of 8K and controlling a little bit at lows. And LA3A, which I really like. Usually when I go for the LA3, it's not, in this case, not about the compression.
Yeah.
It's just not more than 1 dB gain reduction. It's more about the sound of it. It's some EQ thing I like, and it's make it more mid push forward. Here I had the LA3A on the way in when recording. And then all together. Yeah, processing wise, I don't do too much with guitars. The source sound is what's important. So what I do a little bit special is parallel compression. So I send all my guitars to my bus here. That bus sends to parallel compression, which is the 1176 Rev A plugin. I tried both A and the DE and I always ended up with the A, so I only kept that in my template. And then the Pro Q, just to narrow it down, like the very low and very highs.
That's only on the parallel bus.
That's only the parallel. So we can listen. It's very squashed, like 10 dB gain reduction, and then blend it in with the main one. To me, it gives a little bit life to it and brings out some energy in the performance. That's what I'm looking for there, and it's actually what I got this from is like the previous owner of this studio was the producer for the Hives. He mixed back then, at least on the console completely. So he had so many sends and returns of different compressors that he blends in with the rhythm guitar sound. I tried my own thing of doing that, and it seems to work well on metal guitars as well. And then both these then sends together to my my final guitar sum where I do more EQ and whatever I need to do. This one is usually always there. This one I'm also doing a little bit widening with, which is not that common for me on guitars. So this one is usually lives there. In a mix, when I get harsh guitars, I use this for notching like 5Ks and 4K range. But here it's just a slight roll off and some boosting in and like 5 and 8K.
And you're widening the entire frequency range?
Yeah, the whole stereo wider.
Okay, so everything, not just the highs, everything.
Yeah, and then this was what I talked. Yeah, the strange stuff that I stole from the previous rhythm guitars. I kind of liked something going on in the low end on the original before I reamped.
So that EQ matched or what? Or like?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I did. I EQ matched it and blended it in like 48% or something from that. Actually adds a lot of the high thistle stuff as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, something in the context, in the mix, it was cool. And here was small stuff. This is controlling a little bit palm mute stuff. And also that 1.5K range. Some notching. It's just some minor tweaks when everything is going. That's when I keep adding these stuff. And also the funny thing I do is reverb on the rhythm guitars.
I heard it, yeah.
And it's like the only thing I use is the EMT, my real plate reverb. I'm pointing here because it's the remote control for my plate reverb. So I send a tiny bit of the rhythms there. And with plugins or any other reverb I tried, it's not working. This one is kind of doing that thing where it sounds bigger, a little bit wider, and you don't really think of it unless you mute.
Yeah.
That's when you're gonna hear it, and also in stops and stuff. Sometimes I need to automate it because if I don't want it to be heard. But it's a reverb that you don't want to hear it as a reverb. Just make the guitar not that, in your face.
Artificial sounding, right? Like
when you have that
claustrophobic sounding or something.
Yeah, it's always something a bit strange to me to have that super close mic on a cab and there's no room or space in there. And this one helps with that for me. Make them a little bit wider and
nice.
More crisp somehow.
I gotta interrupt you here, I'm sorry. This is only a very small snippet of an almost 3-hour-long mixing course with David Castillo and Carcass, where he walks you through the entire production, every track. And there's some interesting shit going on there, like room microphones on the lead guitars. They recorded everything without a click, which is so cool. And they have some percussion tracks, some organ tracks, even a lot of vocal tracks. And as you could hear, the performance is amazing. So it is a lot of fun to work with these tracks. Right now on intro price, check it out. Now, if you download the course, you can not only watch David, you can also mix the song yourself because it includes all the multitracks. You can upload your mix. And if you do this until August the 20th, you will get a mix feedback from me. And the best mixes will go to David himself, and he will choose the winners. So you can even win some cool shit if you come up with a great sounding mix. As usual, there are two ways how to get your hands on these tracks. Either you just purchase the course, or much smarter, you become a member of Kohle Audio Cult, which is a little more money, but it includes all our courses, all the mixing rituals. You can even watch David mixing Bloodbath. You can watch Nolly recording drums. We have a course with Jens Bogren, a course with Kanonfieber, Paradise Lost, Motorhead, a lot of awesome multitracks. Also, my high gain guitar tone crafting course, recording bass guitar with Dave Ellison. There's so much in there, and you become a member of an awesome community. We also have free plugins, free IRs. There's so much. So I assume if you want to learn more, it's much smarter to become a member of Kohle Audio Cult, a so-called cultist. That's also much cooler, don't you think? Anyway, link below to the landing page of the course, and there you can decide what you want or not. Right now, it's an intro price as well. Thanks a lot to David Castillo. Thanks to Carcass for making this possible. I see you inside the cult, hopefully, or in hell, motherfuckers. Bye-bye.